Hello friends, welcome to Anantagyana. In this video I explain about multiverse exploration, bridging Hindu cosmology and modern scientific theories. The multiverse in the Vedic discourse aims at investigating how Hindu traditions perceive multiverse and contrasting them with multiverse conception based on scientific theories. This paper attempts to correlate the ancient Hindu cosmology with the modern scientific theories, like string theory, parallel universe theories, through the analysis of various Hindu scriptures, particularly Yoga Vasistha and other Hindu scripture. It aims at imparting a comprehensive understanding of the multiverse concept in various domains of thought, and linking the philosophical and metaphysical observations of Hinduism with contemporary scientific knowledge. Keywords: multiverse, Hinduism, scientific perspectives, comparative analysis, philosophy, religion. Chapter 1: Introduction to the Multiverse Concept. 1.1 Introduction. Among the grandest of ideas, the idea of the multiverse, an idea containing the news that the universe is filled with uncounted other universes, other realities, all operating under the same laws configuring reality. And the real, long underpins ancient metaphysical thought and extends into modern scientific theory. This concept goes as far beyond other realities such as a universe into other realms of reality, enhancing the broader frame of reality as a structure of different existences. Though the language of contemporary scientific discourse has only recently begun to cross these lines, the philosophical traditions of Hinduism have explored levels both near and distant on the continuum of nested realms nested within an even greater cosmic order. The concept of the existence of other universes in the multiverse framework is plausible scientifically due to the fact for modern science facets like cosmology. Quantum mechanics is looking into other dimensions to explain new phenomenon that cannot be addressed with present-day theories. One of these is the many worlds interpretation, MWI, proposed in 1957 by the American scientist Hugh Everett, which admits many realized potentialities in unobserved sphere. This interpretation again rewrote the drama of the world in a new way, denying the existence of just one world, just one reality, proposing the multiverse instead, as in the simulation where every possible version is real. Such scientific hypotheses, observed and formulated in mathematics, can be translated into cosmological philosophies. Notably, the idea of multiverse has been described in books such as Yoga Vasistha. Here the number of universes is described metaphorically. However, how one can get access to these worlds through an ekagrata is portrayed vividly. These spheres are not simply conceptual, they are considered as real as the states of matter, and the psychic plane is considered not only as an interface between different types of matter, but also as a real working component. This paper aims to explore the multiverse and the concept that hits the concept of time travel, quantum mechanics, and parallel universe, particularly focusing on the story from Yoga Vasistha. 1.2 Story from Yoga Vasistha. The summary of the following story is being inspired from Swami Krishnananda's work. Once upon a time, there ruled a virtuous king named Padma and his equally meritorious wife, Queen Leela. Their mutual love was immense. Driven by her devotion, Leela resolved to secure immortality for her husband. She performed intense penance and worshipped the goddess Sarasvati, seeking two boons: first, that her husband's soul would remain in the palace after his death, and second, that she could summon the goddess at will. Sarasvati granted her wishes. When the king was killed in battle, his body was brought back to the palace. The grief-stricken Leela, while mourning, was comforted by the goddess who appeared in a vision. Sarasvati told her, "Your husband's soul resides in peace in your palace. Cover his body with flowers, and they will remain fresh until you meet him again." Consoled, Leela followed the goddess's directions and began meditating beside her husband's body. At midnight, the goddess reappeared and said, "What you see is an illusion. Do not despair but seek peace." Leela inquired about her husband's whereabouts and requested a meeting with him. Sarasvati explained, The three types of space, Akash Buddhakash, elemental space, Chidakash, mental space, and Chidakash, knowledge space. She revealed that Padma now resided in Chidakash, and that Leela could meet him once she attained Chidakash, the supreme state of consciousness where the entire cosmos is experienced. Leela, abandoning her body ego, meditated deeply and reached Chidakash. There she saw Padma as king, Vidurtha in his capital, which mirrored his earthly kingdom. Observing Vidurtha's court, she saw messengers reporting an invasion, which the king countered by summoning his generals. Leela was astonished by the similarities to his earthly life. Returning to her palace, Leela found everything unchanged. Confused, she meditated again and questioned the goddess about the nature of the two worlds she had seen. The goddess explained that both were illusions. Leela then understood that the universe she perceived, including her husband's realm, was ideational, arising from consciousness. Sarasvati narrated that in their past lives, Leela and Padma were a Brahmin couple named Vasishtha and Arundhati. Vasishtha, desiring a princely life, visualized himself as a king before he died. After death, his soul, due to Arundhati's boon, remained in their house. This ideation transformed him into King Padma, while Arundhati became Leela. The vast universe they experienced was a manifestation within the Brahman's house. Leela struggled to grasp the enormity of this ideation, likening it to fitting an elephant into a mustard seed. The goddess clarified that just as vast experiences occur in dreams, so does the universe exist in Chidakash. It's a creation of consciousness, not a tangible reality. Leela's confusion about the duration of time between her past and present lives was addressed by the goddess, who explained that time, like space, is experienced differently in various states of consciousness. Leela's desire to see her previous life's descendants led her to meet them with the goddess. Her former son, Jayashtashana, sought her blessing amidst their mourning. Although Leela did not appear in her previous form, she blessed them as a sage would. The goddess and Leela then discussed the nature of reality. The goddess elucidated that ideation and experience in consciousness create the illusion of the universe. True wisdom lies in realizing the non-dual nature of Atma, transcending ideation. Leela's attainment of the atomic state freed her from desires. The goddess imparted spiritual disciplines, leading to the realization of Brahman, constant remembrance and contemplation of Atma, regulated breathing and reflection. These practices help detach from the gross body and establish in the subtle, allowing one to perceive the true nature of reality. Leela, now free from illusion, realized the non-existence of the universe and attained supreme wisdom. She, with the goddess, soared into the skies, embodying pure consciousness, Swami Krishnananda. Sri Vasishtha concluded, explaining to Sri Ramachandra that the universe, being ideational, is illusory. By following the goddess's guidance, Leela transcended illusion, attained the subtle state, and realized the nature of Atma, thus liberating herself from the cycle of birth and death. More detailed explanation of how the story of Queen Leela and King Padma can be analyzed through the lenses of parallel universes, time, travel, and string theory, with references to prominent scientific theories and philosophers. Multiverse in Hindu scriptures, a philosophical overview. In Hindu cosmology, which is expressed in Vedas, Upanishads, and Puranas, the vision of the universe is cyclical as well as multidimensional. It is known as samsara, and is a cosmological view of creating and destroying and preserving as well as annihilating the world, and indicates the dynamic existence. For example, the Puranas speak of many existent worlds within a single Mahayuga, let alone within a cycle, meaning that the structure is such that the worlds interface or are parallel. As for all the works concerning the above-mentioned concepts, the Yoga Vasistha, one of the key works of the Vedanta philosophy, paints the most diverse picture. It contains a story of a Queen Leela who, by her meditation and magical abilities, moves through the various worlds and dimensions. Thus, this narrative shows that the Hindu conception of reality is one, multifaceted, and endless existence of various dimensions. The story of Queen Leela, wherein she comes across her husband, King Padma, in two different realms of existence, can very well be understood by the concept of parallel universes. She has two husbands, a real husband, the noble King Padma on one hand, and on the other hand, there is another dimension of Padma, who has another life, different experiences and surroundings. Another self of Padma is King Viduratha. This story embodies the modern idea of science, specifically within the multiverse. Branches of the universe could include different versions of a person, or events based on quantum choices or other circumstances. However, dissimilar to both the contemporary scientific theories of the multiverse, the Hindu cosmography is not only of the physical universe, but also other planes connected with the mind and the conscious realm. This idea can be also in line with the concept in the modern physics according to which the observed universe could be one among many, and the separation between the different universes could be immeasurably far apart in the terms of the present-day measurement. Scientific perspectives on the multiverse, bridging ancient wisdom and modern inquiry. The new concept of parallel universes in modern science can be the result of attempts to explain the peculiarities of quantum mechanics and the inability of classical concepts to explain some events. According to the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, every time that a decision needs to be made, the universe splits into parallel worlds, with each of them containing the result of any possible decision. This interpretation essentially refutes the mythos of the one world, one reality paradigm. The perceived world is, in fact, a multiverse where all possibilities militate. Although for simplicity, Hugh Everett's MWI only allows for a single active reality at any given time, it is possible to theories on how a multitude of realities could exist, and each contain the myriads of possibilities that could exist in the universe. This coincides fictionally well with the story present in the Yoga Vasistha, in which Queen Leela translates various planes of existence due to an altered state of mind. In the same way, NWI postulates the concept is that with each decision or with each quantum event, a new universe comes into creation. Then the various realms explored by Queen Leela might be seen as the exploration of different branches of reality that exist because of different decisions and experiences. The idea of the inflationary multiverse theory, which is currently supported in part by the theorists, including Goose and Linda, postulates the possibility of creating countless interconnected and separate bubble universes owing to the rapid expansion of the spacetime shortly after the Big Bang. A single bubble may hold an entire world or even multiple worlds, each with their own physical realities and physical constants. This is a theory which presents a cosmology that allows for the possibility of there being many parallel universes existing like the many realms listed by Hindu cosmology. 1.5 Time travel in Hindu cosmology and modern physics. The other is time travel, another phenomenon dreamt by hedonists and expounded in Hindu scriptures as well as in present-day science. The Hindu approach to the understanding of time differs significantly from the Anglo-American view in that the former views time as circular rather than something which moves in a fixed direction, which includes past, present, and the future to form one combined unbroken stream. The described view is illustrated in the Yoga Vasistha, specifically referring to the character of Queen Leela, who is purposely put in this discursive context to enrich her mediated comprehension of time and temporality. As for the concept of escaping the total perspective, it does tally with the principles of time traveling, recognized by today's science. Albert Einstein's general relativity allows for constructs like wormholes or closed time-like curves, which according to some scientists should in theory provide for transport through space and time. According to the work of Kip Thorne's on wormholes, these may act as bridges through which temporal identity may be able to move from one time point to the next. Queen Leela's power of perceiving the past and alternate realities of her husband's life depicted in the contending text, the Yoga Vasistha discloses a temporal regime which corresponds to the mechanistic idea of time travel. Indeed, there are other accounts of the temporal shift as evidenced by her experiences, which indicate that when one holds higher states of consciousness, they can travel through temporal state just as one can use the concept of wormhole in general relativity. This breaks away from traditional cultural portrayal of time as a temporally separate and consecutive dimension, which aligns well with the present-day scientific view of time not being an absolute sequence of temporal events, but a more or less flexible continuum conditioned by other dimensional structures. Although there has been a shift from the static mechanical time of Western thought in Hindu cosmology, they utilize the cyclic form of time where the past, the present, and the future are intertwining entities that unison and juxtapose each other like the non-cyclic envision in contemporary physics. This philosophical view, where time is viewed as something very different from one state of consciousness to another, offers the best ground for exploring the issue of time travel and the malleability of temporal dimensions for certain individuals. 1.6 String Theory and Higher Dimensions, Unveiling the Fundamental Nature of Reality. One of the most promising frameworks for developing a TOE's string theory extends mass point concept, replacing particles by one-dimensional, oscillating strings. This theory also supposes the existence of more spatial dimensions than the three observed, thus making new discoveries regarding the essence of the world. The concept of space as the volume in a four-dimensional world and the discrete character in string theory corresponds to the representations of various spaces in the Yoga Vasistha. The text outlines Buddhakash, upholstered space, Chittakash, zero mental space, Chittakash, space of consciousness, and all three form different aspects of a reality commonly reachable by unique states of awakening. Queen Leela's exploration of these spaces represents a journey through the more dimensions to acquire greater understanding of the deeper crevices of life. In these line of thoughts, Witten's M theory, an extension of string theory, extends the same by signaling the existence of yet a larger universe of 11 dimensions in which the reality that is out there is only a three-dimensional brain. The transcendental consciousness or Chidakasha spoken of in the Yoga Vasistha, in which all locations and time are seen to be interdependent, is akin to the one in M theory, in which the hyperspace contains all possible variations of reality. Premises of Hindu philosophy: a synthesis of the perceived reality, a view of the universe to show the underlying harmony, even though it may appear diverse. This view can be said to be closely related to what string theories does regarding the description of the universe as a product of fundamental oscillation, frequencies and more dimensions at play, indicating that their mystery may be rooted in the relationship between philosophy of old and physics of the present. The idea of going into extra dimensions in string theory also supports Hinduism, where the existence of all the physical structures in the universe is dynamic rather than the mechanistic and deterministic world seen in the scientific view, which envisions matter vibrating in various substances. However, the amalgamation of both scientific and rationalistic perspectives adds depth and offers the most inclusive outlines of existence's most basic form and of the unity of all domains. Fletcher, Landis, and Pollinger. 1.7 Philosophical and Metaphysical Integration, Consciousness and Reality. The Hindu philosophies, especially the Advaita Vedanta, widely supported the worldviews which highlighted non-dualism of existence, and it is viewed that the truth is realized in the non-physical and beyond the matrix of Maya. In this aspect, the given view can be linked to contemporary debates on consciousness and its function in forming reality. The Holland movement, which unifies the principle of Bohm's theory, and which articulates that the universe emerges from a more complex structure. Chapter 2: Interpretation of the Story. The story of Queen Leela and King Padma. 2.1 Parallel universes. 2.2 Connection to story elements. In the story of Queen Leela and King Padma, the concept of parallel universes is shown in connection with the main character Leela and her interactions with several worlds or dimensions. A feeling that the presence of King Padma makes her feel also the presence of King Viduratha, and at the same time in the other world. It is such a creation that we may have several clones of the same person in other realities, as The sciences continues with the creation of parallel worlds. Concerning the topic that several realms can be as real as each other, the narrative confirms this as all the realities can exist because of quantum subjectivism. This is in line with current scientific discussions regarding how several states could be witnessed or achieved through consciousness, in particular the domains that Leela was experiencing. The ideological presentation of various realms within the narrative accredits the notion of ultimate substrates derived from quantum physics. Oneness would refer to Leela's ability to access these different realms through consciousness, which is somewhat comparable to scientific discourses on the possibilities of experiencing or perceiving various quantum states. 2.3 Time travel. 2.3.1 Interpretation in the story. Leela experiences what one calls time travel in their life, such as seeing the past and how things could have been. The method of their meeting is obviously amorphous. However, thanks to the indications provided by her, it is clearly shown that with meditation, one is capable of moving through the various temporal stages. 2.3.2 Scientific perspective. Time travel and string theory. A deeper understanding. 2.3.3 General relativity and time travel. Albert Einstein, 1915. General relativity allows the possibility of time traveling by creating structures such as wormholes or closed time-like curves. In fact, Leela's consciousness could be seen as traveling along such a temporal path, as it passes from the fantasy of immediate money to the remembrance of the childhood home owned by her parents. 2.3.4 Wormholes as time machines. Kip Thorne, 1988. Thorne has put forward a theory about wormholes, and it's possible that these wormholes act as a bridge between two specific times, thus allowing the individual to travel in time. This is what the Leela's journeys portray, where movements are made possible through divine intervention akin to moving through a wormhole. This brings the concept of the lower, middle, and upper spaces, namely the Buddhakash, Chittakash, which can be considered as the metaphors of the extra dimension in string theory. Forces that are described as shaping the fundamental nature of the universe itself appear to be more easily discernible to Leela as she moves through these spaces. 2.4 String theory. Leonard Susskind, 1970s. There are some theories that state that the basic building blocks are one-dimensional string, and that there are other dimensions beyond the three perceived dimensions of space. The various areas that Leela travels through represent these dimensions. 3. M theory. Edward Witten, 1995. This theory is based on string theory but with an expansion of the universe as a part of the 11-dimensional world. Chittakash being a unification of cosmic space and the universe, along with the experiences and teachings that Leela has, are a manifestation of a higher dimension. The story describes an ultimate state of consciousness where all domains and tenses are acknowledged. Similarly to string theory's perspective, in which all manifestations of existence are united at a higher dimensional reality. As Leela wakes up and realizes that the environment is not physical but of a higher frequency resonating with energetic patterns, the show supports the idea that what people see exists on a different frequency. 2.4 Philosophical and scientific integration. Consciousness and quantum mechanics. David Bohm, Roger Penrose. It must be noted that consciousness is a focal point in the story, which opened to Bohm's concept of the universe as an implicate order emerging from a greater holistic reality, and Penrose's speculation on quantum computation occurring in the brain for consciousness. Non-duality. Advaita Vedanta. The idea that finally Atma, or the Self, is the truth in the story enshrines the belief of non-dualism of Advaita Vedanta. This is in concordance with the current scientific theories that propose that there is causative core on which all the occurrences depend. 2.5 Conclusion. 2.5.1 Parallel universe, time travel and string theory. Quick overview. Parallel universes. The idea of having numerous storylines is also prevalent in the show and may support the existence of the multiverse theory. Time travel. Thus, Leela's spirit piercing the boundaries of one-dimensional time represents the actualization of various theoretical constructs that exist in physics where time is pliant and nonlinear. String theory. The idea of different spaces connected to each other throughout the narrative can again be compared to string theory and its concept about other dimensions and the fact that everything is actually vibrating. Through such ideas, the story connects pre-sophistic philosophy's germs of thought with burgeoning cosmic research and an accommodation of consciousness and the universe. Parallel universes, string theory. Time traveling are some of the theories which are evident in the story. Multiple realms and existences. This is done through the various journey that Leela undergoes in the two realms, the Chittakash and the Chittakash. Leela understands that her husband, in an alternate reality, is King Vidurtha in a realm that reflects the real world of Vidur. This implies the existence of another world where her husband is different, but in similar circumstances as depicted in the show. Thus, the investigation of the usages of Hindu text with reference to contemporary scientific discovery demonstrates not only a new appreciation of the fact of an underlying conversation between one of the world's oldest religions and the most scientifically advanced civilization of the modern age, but also various levels of interaction between the two disparate worlds. This comparative analysis explains how timeless allegories and contemporary theories helped shed light on the cosmological and ontological concepts concerning the existence of the universe and the nature of consciousness. The juxtaposition of the concepts interferes with the gloomy view from the concepts of sacred Hinduism, opening a wide and interesting debate about updates of pre-scientific mentality and tendencies of contemporary science. This will help to reveal the similarities that can be obtained from the ancient Greek philosophy, fairy tales, and modern scientific frameworks within which to assess the nature of the universe, consciousness, and reality. 2.6 Hindu scripture and the multiverse concept. Based on the current values of Hindu spirituality, a multilevel cyclic cosmology exists that reflects the work of the original texts, including the Vedas, Upanishads or Yoga Vasistha, and the concept of the locus. These scriptures portray an ontology of being whereby being construct anthropology of existence within many worlds simultaneously, whereby the physiognomy of each world is governed by different laws and is decipherable when one's consciousness is in the altered state. Accordingly, if elements from the Yoga Vasistha, and especially the story of Queen Leela, can be attuned with, it is indeed feasible to plot out the organismic existence of people who inhabit two different worlds and whose junction is unveiled in a hiatus between such states as meditating and becoming enlightened. However, in comparing these philosophical opinions with construct, the current cosmological/quantum mechanical models contain efficient notions for the novel multiverse epistemology, which is grounded on actual and formulated encounters. There are two main theories that suggest the existence of other universes. These are quantum mechanics interpretation, known as the many worlds interpretation interference, and the multiverse theory arising from the idea of cosmic inflation. According to these scientific models, astronauts can perhaps see that our visible universe is but one of an infinite number of such universes. All may differ tremendously concerning physical laws and surrounding environment. Competitive analysis of multiverse concepts. Thus, Hindus believe in many worlds, or the multiverse, as do scientists in the 21st century. Although the language might be different, this is because both schools of thought recognize the concept of segmented universes, which are the widespread and separate realms they explore. These realms, in Hindu cosmology, are attained by virtue of a number of disciplines and are related to the precincts of the mind and body. Unlike in mythology, which seeks to explain the existence of other worlds by appealing to gods, the modern science demonstrates how the concept of multiverse is quite rational in its theoretical models, and arbitrary observations suggesting that they may exist because different quantum states or cosmic events lead to the creation of new worlds. As for the differences between these views, they are noteworthy as well. While Hindu scriptures provide description about the multiverse, These descriptions are mythological and symbolic and stress on the development of awareness and spiritual perception to get through it. The science of the multiverse is more technical, as it is based on the physical amounting of theorists and mathematicians, all based on actual, proven empirical data. 2.8 Reinvestigating the multiverse in Vedic discourse defines the Vedic discourse as a better context in which to think about the multiverse, since it is a philosophical concept. For example, Yoga Vasishtha employs the narrative of the character of Queen Leela to elucidate the matter that the consciousness can traverse spatial-time constraints and live in several worlds. This is something like the concept of the scientific community that seems to assert that varying quantum results or Andromedan states can result in the creation of several universes. The same can also be applied to Vedic belief in multiverse. All the realms and all the time, all in existence, are interlinked and cannot be separated. This view can be compared with contemporary science that theorizes that there is more to the world than what we can see, hear, touch, taste, and feel. There exists the theorists unrelated to string theories and M theory, which claim that everything around us is a reaction of a more profound structural plan of the universe. 2.9 Implications of comparative analysis. The comparison of Hindu multiverse with that of the modern science shows that such approach may allow for the better unification of realities. Hence, the relevant principles from true philosophy are combined with modern scientific theories to offer a broad vision on the universe, the mundane, and the divine. This integration invites the writer to think beyond what traditionally implied and confining research and philosophical analysis to the study of existence has been. Prominent Hindu concepts such as multiple worlds, time-space travel, and multidimensional existence, along with the scientific concepts such as alternate worlds and time distortions, also substantiate interrelatedness of the various domains and flexibility of the time-space continuum. These considerations have stimulated more extensive study on how consciousness and perception have defined and diversified our cosmological knowledge and how mythology can enhance the contemporary science knowledge systems. Thus, the interaction between the Hindu religious scripture and the modern theory of relativity is quite intriguing and posits the eternal wisdom with the modern enlightenment. As for the cosmological model of the multiverse as an idea described in the Yoga Vasishtha and in the New Science, it could be understood as the representation of reality that is beyond the limitations. If analyzing the similarities and differences of these two domains, one can note that both are being introduced to the perspective of the many-sided and interconnected world that has several levels or planes. Therefore, when studying texts of the Vedic tradition and comparing the concept of the multiverse presented in them with scientifically observable reality, we can identify a kind of spectrum of cognition where religious and rational ideas are most compatible. This integration enables enhancement of the understanding of the universe and at the same time enhance the conception and appreciation of consciousness and metaphysics in reality. In this healthy and constructive exchange, the profound wisdom of the Hindu scripture and the capability of the modern science indicate to us how numerous cultural and academic frameworks can work and interconnect in order to confront and endeavor new ways to explore the mysteries of life and the entire universe. This approach is also known as the taking practical measure approach, and it requires that we come up with what might be considered as possibly less focused concentration of time, energy, and cognitive resources towards knowledge and wisdom originating from various fields for the purposes of gaining a better and holistic understanding of the universe and our existence in the scheme of things. The integration of the timeless and temporal products in continuous discovery and expansion means that the combination of the eternal objects is authoritative to provide new perspectives on course and idea for further conception and discovery of the unity and interaction between all things as humanity unveils more about his destiny in life. It causes one to challenge commonly held biases and widen scientific exploration in the true nature of the world that exists beyond the known visible cosmos. Such an integrative approach not only helps to add to the knowledge about the existence of the universe, but also speeds up the development of a multifaceted and more closely related vision of relations between different phenomena. This sparks a dialogue that is not simply civilizational, philosophically, and scientifically driven. It expands the conversation by also accepting the personal and the real, the mind and the spirit. Therefore, the reflection upon the role of the multiverse notion in the Vedas and in contemporary science could be considered as a synthesis of the indigenous tradition's perception of the existence of the universe and the modern people's understanding of the world. This dialogue challenges the audience to expand one's perspectives and directs the attention to the key issues and the need to transition to the transdisciplinary approach and recognition of the multiplicity of theories and opinions. Thus, by accepting this synthesis, we commence an investigation which will only fine-tune humanity's understanding of the universe and its place within it, indeed, progress the advancements in humanity's wisdom. PLSE subscribe your channel.